Hi everyone and welcome to Kitchen Curiosities. I'm Lila and I'm Emily and we're the Kitchen Twins. Today we're going to see what's cooking with Chef Chris. She works at Whole Foods and gave us an opportunity last year to do a demo for kids here at Whole Foods. It went very well. We know who Chef Chris has worked with and is very knowledgeable about food, and we are very curious about what she has to say. Actually, before you ask Chef Chris the first question, this is actually the kitchen, very nice kitchen, the culinary kitchen at Whole Foods that we got to do this demo. So what is your favorite food?
My favorite food is very sentimental. It is something my mom used to make, and it's gnocchi made with ricotta. Not potato gnocchi, but ricotta gnocchi.
Oh, I love ricotta.
I do too. It was, my mom always made it for me when it was my birthday. When I was growing up, you could pick your favorite meal for your birthday dinner.
Oh, we do that too.
Do you? Yeah, I love that. And it made me feel really happy, and it was always gnocchi.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have a strong memory from growing up that revolves around a dish that you're around a family dinner or your mom and dad that your mom and dad used to make?
You know, my mom was from Italy. She was born there. She came here as a child, and she was an amazing cook. But it was not uncommon for women of her generation, especially from Italy, to be very accomplished in the kitchen because that was something they learned very, very early. And she wanted to share that with me, and I was the oldest, so I was always like right there by her side in the kitchen. So my first memory, the strongest memory I have, is my mom would make her pasta dough by hand, which I still do. I don't do it in a food processor. I make it by hand, and I can see her taking that well of flour and breaking the eggs in the middle and taking a fork and bringing it all together and making the dough out of it. And she had a large rolling pin that was one dimension in diameter. It didn't taper in any way. It had no handles. My grandfather had made that for her as a wedding present, and she would roll it out into big sheets. And then if she was making pasta, she had a machine. It wasn't a machine. It was actually just a piece of equipment that was a wooden box frame and had piano wire strung across it. And in Italian, it's called a città, which means a guitar, because it looks like a stringed instrument, but it's just framed with wires. And you pick up that sheet of pasta on a big rolling pin and lay it over the top, and then you run that rolling pin over the wires, and it would cut the pasta and it would fall through. And you would have linguine on the bottom after you cut it through. I still have that città, and I still have the long rolling pin. And that is a very strong memory for me of watching my mom make the pasta and roll out the fresh pasta dough without a machine.
Actually, it's really funny because our parents just made ravioli from scratch at a friend's house the other night.
Oh, cool.
So that was
I used to have to take the fork and seal the edges of the ravioli because my mom would also take that sheet of pasta and then she'd dollop like the ricotta filling. She had like a little rhythm to it. She would just drop them, she'd fold it over, cut them. They were little squares, and then it was all by hand. There were no machines. And I took a little fork and had to press out the edges. And if they didn't blow up when you put them in the boiling water, I had done the job right. And I think I was probably your age.
wow.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what's your signature dish?
My signature dish, that's a great question. When I had my catering business, my signature dish, people would always ask for, it wasn't what my intended signature dish was, but I always made a beef tenderloin that people loved. And it had to do with not just the way we cooked it, but the way we trimmed it and seasoned it, and we took a lot of care with it. I think the thing that my family looks for the most when we do, family gatherings, I do a Thai shrimp that people love.
Oh, wow.
So that's, I would say, my signature dish is my Thai shrimp, and we make a gingery cilantro mint dipping sauce.
That's really good.
It's really good. It's bright and fresh, and everybody loves it.
Do you have a guilty pleasure food?
Chocolate.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have an example of a cooking disaster that you've had?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do. Very, very, very long time ago, I was into teaching myself how to cook Chinese food. Because I just decided I wanted to know more about it. And I was probably, I'm going to say I was in my 20s. And so I was taking Chinese cookbooks and working my way through them. And one of them involved tofu sheets. And I was not able to find the tofu sheets. So I decided to use the tofu I could find. And it wasn't nearly the right thing. It was like trying to use cheese for noodles. It was just a mess. And when I went to make this shrimp with tofu sheets, it fell all apart. It just completely was a big, gloppy, goopy mess.
Oh, wow.
And that was, yeah, it was not a good moment. We ended up ordering in Chinese.
So if you could have dinner anywhere, like anywhere in the world tonight, where would it be?
In fantasy or in real life? In fantasy?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. This is going to sound sentimental and corny, but in fantasy, it would be at my mom's. My mom's long gone, but if I could get her back, I would sit there and have dinner at her house.
That's great. What do you think the best way to help people make healthier food choices?
I think the best way to do it is to begin with helping them understand what the food is that they're eating. You start with understanding that food has a pattern. You grow it from a seed, and it takes up nutrients from the ground. So what you do to that seed, what you do to the ground, becomes very important with the product that it grows into, what you harvest and bring to your table. So that's the first part, is understanding. A lot of people don't realize how the food they eat becomes food. To them, it's just they go in the grocery store and grab stuff. So I think that's the first step. And the second step is to help them understand that it doesn't have to be complicated. And if you can identify enough colorful things and put them all on your plate, you're going to have a really good meal and it'll be better for you. And that's as simple as it is. A rainbow will make you healthy and happy.
Yeah, I understand that. We'd like to thank Chef Chris for taking her time today. She's very busy, as you can see, getting ready for the Thanksgiving dinner. I'm Emily.
And I'm Lila.
And we're the Kitchen Twins. And remember, fresh is best.